A new day, a new migraine. I suspect that the hole is a bit too big and I can't go anywhere anymore. Alright, let's change this bag. Hello everyone. So I messed up as usual. This time I didn't blow airbag, but I did puncture it. How did that happen? I decided that the height sensor in the rear suspension needs to be replaced because one of them wasn't working and both were from facelift model, so I replaced both. I assembled it and the car stood completely sideways. One side was higher and the other lower, and in the rear was completely different. So I went to the car repair shop to get the suspension calibrated. I made sure the people knew what we were doing and had calibrated Land Rovers before. I left the car, came back, and everything seemed fine. I started driving and then the problems began. It started throwing error codes and air suspension inactive. Then the front dropped and the worst part, the front air suspension completely deflated. It turns out they didn't calibrate my car programmatically. Instead, they calibrated it using these adjustable lifting rods. They shortened them a lot, so the car tried to be lower than it could. So the car tried to lower the front, which it did. The worst part is that the airbag sat on my big wheels, and since the tires were quite loud, I couldn't really hear what was going on. By the time I got home, after driving about 5 kilometers, the hole were punctured into the airbag. I returned the adjustable lifting rods to their standard position and tried to inflate the airbags, but immediately all the air escaped. So, a sad story. Some kind of misfortune seems to be following me. I'll solve the problem simply by buying a new old shock absorber with an airbag. The shock absorber is very old, maybe about 20 years old, but the airbag looks like it was changed by an Englishman not so long ago, so it's in good condition. It is holding air, so I'll just replace the whole shock absorber and see what happens after that, whether the passenger side also drops. I am going to check visually if there is a wear or not. If there is, then good times. If I need to change another shock absorber, then, well, this is going to be sad. And that's it, we'll be able to return to the streets with our problematic car. So why I have hole in the airbag? It was rubbing against the tires because the rim offset is too big. The tire is way too close to the airbag. The rims are 35 or 32, which is too big. So I'd either need spacers for these rims or new rims with a 15. But then I'd have other problems like the wheels sticking out of the arches and I need to widen the fenders. Then I'm not sure how it would steer. It could even hit more obstacles in the arches, so never mind for now. When there's air in the suspension, there are no problems. When there's no air though, I'll probably destroy the airbags. I've already grinded the shock absorber a bit, now I just need to catch the rust and paint it. Tomorrow I'll try to remove a wheel and the shock absorber and see how the big hole is. Gerai, apsivalykim. Gerai, apsivalykim rūdis ir galim bus dažyti. I have a slight inconvenience due to higher car. When this wheel goes high, so high that it doesn't reach the ground, this CV axle drops higher in this angle, and this little air of shock reaches this CV axle. It reaches quite little, just a bit, but it's better that it would not reach it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this little air of suspension And that should be it, because on the highest position of the suspension it's not reaching at all, and when the wheel is in the air it might reach and might not. So I'm going to cut it a little bit, and it will be more than enough. No panic at all. I marked how much I want to cut. Maybe it's even too much, but okay, good enough. So I'm going to cut it really slightly and then grind it just a bit to make everything smooth. Let's do it. Okay, now it's time to paint, and no one will ever notice that something is different. Nice. Gerai, ratas ore. Okay, now let's look at the damages. So, a bit of a hole. That's too bad. I was able to go home easily because from the wheel and the arch was at least 2 centimeters gap, but this airbag did not like it at all. So I guess in the near future I'm going to need to solve this problem, but at this moment I'm just going to change the airbag and move on. Let's get cracking. Pirmas raštas. Nenoriu varžtai lengvai išlysti. Ne. Paprašysim griežčiau. Oops. 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 I'm almost halfway of removing front shock. All I need to do is remove these 3 bolts and then unscrew air hose, and that would be it. Also, I need to loosen it up so I could remove this bar, because now I would just damage this, I don't know, rivet or what, and I wouldn't be able to use it anymore. So no rush, remove it from the top and move on. Taip, look at. Nieko čia lengva nebus. Dabar šitą maišimą. Ką čia sumastydama. Oi, kaip negerai. It's like a stress ball. Push it a few times and it's instantly better. Tikiuosi nesužeidžiau tavo vamzdelio, kai visų svorių krito. Okay, it's finally time to install my old new shock absorber with new airbag. This is how I bought it from used parts. This airbag looks pretty nice, like pretty nice, in good condition. It was definitely sometime changed in its life to new one, because this shock absorber is made in 2003 and it didn't look that good, but I painted it in black. Now put on lift kit, spacers, and now it's finally time to install it and connect to air hose, and later everything else. Let's move. Okay, now it's time to put it through this mounting holes to put at least one bolt on, and everything will fall into places. Shock absorber is now mounted on the top, and this little blue helper did all the hard work. Very nice. Alright, now it's time to tighten the bottom screws. This part will be a little harder. Whoops, pardon. The airbag fell again directly onto the wheel. Well, alright, this side is finished. Here I attached the sensor with a zip tie, otherwise this little cable could fall off. It might be a little too tight, but that's fine. The cable has enough slack, nothing will happen. Okay, this side is done, now I need to do the other side. I'll take off the wheel and check if it's punctured. Looks like it hasn't, but I'll check if there is anywhere on this side. If there is nowhere, then we are good. If it's a worn though, I'll go to the scrap yard and get another shock absorber. Okay, and now it's time for right side. And here is like no damage at all. It reached a little bit with wheel, but no damage was done for the airbag from the tire, and I have no idea why. Well, at least one guess is that this side was not deflated completely and did not reach the tire. That's the only explanation I can find in my mind, because it's really close. Wheel is really close with suspension. I need to do something with that, but at least at the moment I don't need to do anything with this airbag. It is completely fine. Maybe I need to go to buy a spare one for just in case, but at the moment I have no need to replace it. So that's a very good news for me. Whew. Less work is better work. Okay, now it's time to start the car, delete all the faults from the air suspension, and look what new problems will arise. Okay, test drive. Looks like everything went smoothly and airbag change was successful, because I'm driving now for a bit and no more air suspension inactive faults, and looks like we are good to drive. Okay, in the near future I'm going to try to calibrate suspension, but at this moment it's good enough. Let's drive home and take a rest. Okay, thank you and bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Almost forgot. If you are interested in watching how I made, if you are interested in watching how I made this engine protection and bumper protection, please leave a comment. And if there will be at least 5 interested, maybe I will make a short video about the process that took place to make bumper protection and engine protection. Okay, that's it for this time. Bye.